We have a massive Oilers update as head coach Kris Knoblauch reveals his master plan ahead of the 25-26 Oilers season theirs. We'll also recap last night's game against the Winnipeg Jets there where the youth takeover was on show last night. I thought, many Oiler prospects showed out last night in making their case for the Oilers management that, hey, maybe, cuts aren't going to be as easy this go around. All that and more as we are very, very close to 4,000 subscribers. If you haven't hit that button already, make sure to do so. 69% of you watching these videos haven't yet subscribed there. But without further ado, let's get right into it as the Oilers take a 3-2 victory over the Winnipeg Jets with a game including Jonathan Toews making his first appearance on an NHL ice surface for the first time in 2 years, though. So congrats to Jonathan Toews on that. But, an even bigger congrats to many of the Oilers last night there. Again, making their case known. The scoring summary here, nothing in the first period there. A couple key stops there made by Calvin Pickard there, making it, or keeping it 0-0 after 20 minutes of play. And then Quinn Hutson, who's been the most consistent Oiler, even going back to the rookie camp last week and then heading into the main camp there, and the two preseason games that he's been in, the most consistent Oiler so far there. So a very surprising player to myself. I mean, maybe not as surprising to many who've been watching Quinn Hutson over the years there, but Hutson, in my eyes, again, a very important player for the Oilers so far in the season there. Colin Miller tying it up for the Jets, with 15 minutes into the second period there. And then Ike Howard with a Leon Draisaitl-esque power play goal there from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, finding him on the seam pass, making it 2-1 Oilers. And Ty Emberson, pretty much, the insurance goal in the third period. I thought Ty Emberson was the best Oilers defenseman last night by far, and that is something that is needed for his confidence heading into the season there. As it looks like he will be on that third pairing with Brett Kulak. And then Colby Barlow tried making it close there for the Jets, but that was all the Oilers needed, was that insurance goal from Ty Emberson, making it 3-2 in the victory here. Taking a look at the hockey stat card, 2 assists there from Noah Philp last night, easily the best Oiler on the ice. And Arturo Leppinen, game by game, he's been, a very, very impressive there. Quinn Hutson, as I mentioned, very consistent. Ty Emberson, the best Oilers defenseman there. And then, the hockey stat card, not showing much love to Matt Savoy, but he still made his, presence known on the ice. They're making plays all over the place there for the Oilers. And then Ike Howard, again, impressive for him. But with head coach Kris Knoblauch, 2 players impressed him. Again, Savoy in Noah Philp there, as we take a look at the post-game presser. I think he's getting adjusted fairly well in moving his feet, getting involved in the play a lot more rather than just sitting back in analyzing plays just because it happened so fast. This is his analysis on Ike Howard so far. If you're always analyzing, you never get involved. I like that he's just pursuing the puck and looking hungry for it as well. And Noah Philp, Noah's a big guy who skates fairly well. And tonight we saw his vision on the 2 goals he set up. Both, I believe, were backhand passes, but he made some other plays breaking out, just finding open ice and making the next play to transport it out. So there are a lot of good things I like about Noah, and hopefully he can keep that up. And hopefully he does keep that up for the Kris Knoblauch in the aversion of playing the young players we saw last year for the Oilers. But hopefully Kris Knoblauch can realize a healthy blend of veteran and younger guys on the team there can get the Oilers to where they have been trying to get to for the past 2 years. They got to the finish line and just cannot cross it there. And Stan Bowman trying his best to make that Oilers prospect cupboard, a little more full compared to prior years there where it's been very, very bare. But for the Oilers, that was last night. But this is the game we're looking forward to tonight for the Edmonton Oilers, and it is going to be the preseason debut for a lot of the big name guys. But the Oilers will start the season with the nuclear option, according to Kris Knoblauch, as he is stacking the top line with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and we will see that tonight against the Seattle Kraken coming into Rogers Place. There's 7 o'clock Mountain on Oilers Plus there. It said the game wasn't televised, but it will be on Oilers Plus. Just taking a look at the lineup against the Seattle Kraken, you will see Draisaitl and McDavid together alongside Trent Frederic, who's coming into the season healthy there. We all saw him hobbling around during the postseason last year. Obviously was not 100% there, but Knoblauch trying to see what he's getting out of a healthy Trent Frederic. I mean, he's signed for 8 years. You may as well see what you have with him next to the two main guys on the team there. And the other 9 forwards, Matthias Janmark on the second line with Curtis Lazar and Quinn Hudson. A lot of players, back-to-back Winnipeg, and then coming into Edmonton tonight there with Andrew Mangiapane, David Tomasic, and Roby Yarventi, with the fourth line being James Hamblin, Josh Szymanski, and Connor Clattenburg there. And on the back end, you have Ekholm in Bouchard, and then Atro Lepinen in Alec Regula, and then Mason Millman in Bo Akey, with Stuart Skinner getting the full start tonight there. You can see, the Oilers and the nuclear option, all 5 of their head coaches have done that so far. But, Kris Knoblauch started, giving us a reason as to why he is doing this to start the season. When they're playing together, you get a lot more out of the rest of the 3 lines. That might sound a bit ironic, but the others get more ice time than is available when those 2 are playing 21 and 22 minutes when they're playing on their own line. There isn't much ice time left for the third and fourth lines, and often they feel left out. But with Connor and Leon playing together, it allows those 3 lines to stay in the game, play their regular shift more often, and they also get to play more to their identity. If you have a guy who maybe isn't a top 6 guy, but he's playing with Leon or Connor, you kind of have to play to a top 6 line identity, even if that isn't part of their game there. So Kris Knoblauch sort of playing 4D chess here when it comes to the mentality of the other 3 lines. Not having to conform their game to Draisaitl or McDavid. Is this the smartest decision by Kris Knoblauch, a week into camp there, to sort of tip his hand as to how he's going to start the season line-wise? Not the smartest move by him. Hopefully this is a smoke screen, but again, you got to weigh out the pros and cons. The Oilers are trying to avoid another slow start for the 3rd year in a row there. So McDavid in Draisaitl, sure, I can see the reasons, but at the same time, we saw what could happen when those 2 are, shut down effectively by another team, as we saw with the Florida Panthers, and the other 3 lines are trying to overcompensate with that, and it could, turn out, not the greatest, but, we still have to see the other 3 lines on the ice as the season starts there. And by playing Connor and Leon together, the other guys play to their identity, and maybe you get more out of them. We saw it last year with Nugent-Hopkins when he was playing with Puckholzen in Arvidsson. They were putting up as much offense individually there. So, Knoblauch, going back to last year, sure, we don't have Victor Arvidsson anymore, but we can see sort of what can go on with the Oilers when they are not with Draisaitl or McDavid there. So it's just more, individual creativity, which Kris Knoblauch trying to, preach to the rest of the teams. You can't really rely on 97 or 29 if they're, not on your line there. You have to, rise to the occasion and play a lot better there, which again, very, very smart by Kris Knoblauch, but at the same time, I'm questioning why go into the nuclear option again to start the season. It's more so just a panic button hit, when things aren't going well. It's not so much a, hey, you start with it and see where you go from there. But for the Oilers, a lot of things to consider going into tonight's game. It's like, okay, how are they going to look? Stuart Skinner getting the full 60 minutes tonight there, which again, his first game of the preseason. You have to sort of get him in there somehow, some way. You can't wait too long to get Stuart Skinner involved. But that is it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts on last night's game and your thoughts on Knoblauch doing McDry this early. Do you think, again, it's a panic move, or do you think this is sort of something initiated by the main 2 culprits themselves, McDavid and Draisaitl? Do you think this is at their request? Let me know down in the comments, folks. Enjoy the game tonight. Let's go Oilers. Let's get another win tonight. I mean, it's the preseason. Nothing really counts. Nothing really matters, but it's still Oilers hockey, and that's always something to enjoy. But take care. Have a great rest of the day. I'm Matt.